Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Fitz1TV here, aka G-Lauren33, and I'm here tonight with your official WWE Stomping Grounds 2019 full show review and result. The pay-per-view ended a little bit ago. And yeah, I'm very, 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 confused on what to say about this pay-per-view. I'm 50-50 on it. I'm not gonna lie, right? It would be too easy for me to come on here and bash the show, bash WWE, because we know WWE, the way they've been doing things lately has been absolutely garbage. The go home shows for both Raw and SmackDown were both very underwhelming, and the show tonight, man, I thought it was gonna be terrible, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all, all right? Because I wouldn't be doing the right thing. And I'm not gonna give Stomping Grounds a thumbs up. I'm not gonna give it a thumbs down. It was a middle of the ground show at the end of the day. I'll say this: the first part of this show, the first part of Stomping Grounds was great. About the first hour and a half, up until I would say around the Kofi Kingston Dolph Ziggler steel cage match. Maybe before that, I'm trying to remember the card. I have my notes here, but somewhere around there, that's when the show really, went down. But still, it wasn't a bad show, especially the beginning of the show that was great. The first 3-4 matches was really good. So I'm not gonna bash Stomping Grounds. There are parts that I'm probably gonna rant about. That main event tonight was absolutely disgusting. The fact is, I thought we were gonna move out of all these feuds coming out of Stomping Grounds tonight, but it seems like we're gonna get continuation. We thought Roman Reigns and Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre, that would be finally over. Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre has been going on since before 2019. This started right around when Roman Reigns' cancer storyline begun. And the fact that it's still going 8 months later is absolutely ridiculous in my eyes. And what else? Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin, we thought that would be over tonight. Now that they put Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch, those two programs look like they're still going to continue. After what we saw tonight, I am willing to bet tomorrow's main event on Monday Night Raw is going to be Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch against Corbin and Lacey Evans in a mixed tag team match. All right? Who wants to see that? Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, no matter if you like them as a couple, no matter if you hate them as a couple, it's whatever. But the fact is, they're two of WWE's biggest stars. Becky Lynch is arguably the face of the women's division right now. Now that, Ronda Rousey's not there, Sasha's not there, Charlotte, she's not doing much as of late. And I'm never been behind Bayley, really. I'm still really not behind Bayley's title run because he really hasn't done anything with the title. And, Becky Lynch is the face of the women's division right now. And ever since WrestleMania, she's lost a lot of her momentum. And it's not really her fault, but I'll talk about that more in a second. And we have Seth Rollins on the other hand. When we're talking about Seth Rollins, he's the Universal Champion. But, we're just waiting for, to be honest, I'm just sitting here waiting for Lesnar to cash in. Legit, so we could go back to what we had before. That's legit what I'm waiting for Brock Lesnar to cash in. Because it's going to happen. I don't know what's their plans. I don't know if they're planning to have Rollins versus Lesnar at SummerSlam or whatever. But honestly, it makes no sense to me, really. Because I thought finally we finished with all these feuds. We'll be done with Reigns and McMahon. We'll be done with Rollins versus Corbin. We'll be done with Becky versus Lacey. And we can finally start building new feuds. And then we're heading towards Extreme Rules, which in the past was one of my favorite pay-per-views growing up. I remember back in the day, John Cena versus Batista in an Extreme Rules match. We've had Cena versus Lesnar. Remember, Lesnar versus Triple H. We've had CM Punk versus Chris Jericho in a Chicago street fight. So I used to love Extreme Rules, but even though we're a couple weeks away from the show, I have no hype for it because I feel like we're gonna get Super Showdown Part 3 at Extreme Rules. Super Showdown Part 1 took place at Super Showdown. Super Showdown Part 2 with them giving us all these rematches, and then Super Showdown Part 3 is gonna be happening at Extreme Rules. And I agree with you, Joe. Yeah, CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy. I should have put that. I should have mentioned that. But you guys see what I'm talking about here, right? Legit, WWE, one of their biggest things, one of their biggest problems is these feuds that we don't want to see, they let continue forever. And then feuds that we do want to see, they cut them right as they start. And it's like they rushed, like AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. That's a good 3-month title feud waiting to happen. And I agree. It should have not happened at Money in the Bank. You should say that for SummerSlam. Or you could say that for WrestleMania. They said no. They did one match. It was a great match. It was one of the best main roster matches all year. But still, it was one match, and then boom. That was the end of their feud. But yet here we are. We're still getting, Baron Corbin, Seth Rollins, a feud that no one wants to see. During that match tonight, they were chanting. They were actually chanting, "This is boring. This is stupid." Legit. You can't script this stuff. You can't edit pay-per-view crowds like you do on SmackDown Live or Raw. All right? Nah. And then I read an article today. Before we get into the actual show, I read an article today that WWE will no longer be doing television matches when they're on commercials. So say, there's a tag team match going on or something like that. No longer will wrestlers be wrestling during the commercial breaks. I've noticed this because if you look on WWE's YouTube page, during commercial breaks in the arena, they usually do mini segments. Like they may have like Jinder Mahal talk about how he wants to be the 24/7 champion, or they have like Mojo Rawley come out and like bash the crowd, or they do segments they do like trivia with members of the audience, stuff like that. Because WWE no longer, since in the NFL and in the NBA they don't do they don't play during commercial breaks. Why should WWE do that? All right. And honestly, at the end of the day, I don't really care. If it's a title match, like if it's, let's say if it was AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins for the Universal title on a edition of Monday Night Raw, if you're going to do that match during on live television, yes, you shouldn't do. There should be no wrestling during the commercial break. It's a damn world title match. All right. If you want to do what, have like half the screen be ads, half the screen giving commercials, and half the screen the action is still on the television screen. Yeah, do that, but that costs a lot of money for WWE to do that. And the fact is, WWE has done that in the past, but the thing is, they only use it for stupid matches that you want to care about, like Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins going up against the Revival, a match that people don't really care about. You guys get my drift. But it's going to be interesting to see how that works. Because you guys watched Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live last week. They were doing 2 out of 3 fall matches, like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus The New Day. The reason why they made it 2 out of 3 falls is because there was no wrestling during the commercial breaks. And for the live audience, and the thing about it is, I would know this because when I've went to WWE shows in the past, or if you guys watching this have went to WWE shows in the past, you guys know that one of the hardest things is, at least when you're at a WWE pay-per-view, the show doesn't stop because there's no commercials on pay-per-view. You're legit paying. Why would you get ads if you're paying for that show? All right. But if you look at Raw and SmackDown, if you go to if you're there, the live audience in the arena, when the television's on commercial screen and there's no wrestling going on in the ring, legit, all they're showing is like WWE advertisements on the Titantron. And it can be very, very boring. All right. And Joe, I see what you said. Shane McMahon becoming WWE champion. I made a video on that, bro, last week. So if you haven't checked out that video, I already talked about Shane McMahon. And we'll probably talk about Shane because Shane McMahon's still pissing me off. Shane McMahon's arguably probably the worst thing with the WWE product right now. He's one of the ratings killers for WWE right now. And legit, Vince McMahon and his creative team still don't understand that we don't want to see him on television. But, we're going to get into Stomping Grounds. We're going to get in the full show. I don't know how long I'm going to be here for, all right, because I arguably don't. Some of these matches I'm excited to talk about. Some of these matches I don't care to talk about. But I'm ready to do this. I hope you guys are as well. I'm Fitzman TV, and once again, welcome to your Stomping Grounds review. Make sure to look in the comment section down below. Follow me on social media. Make sure if you guys enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe because I go live almost every Monday and Tuesday with Raw and SmackDown live reviews. Because some days I just don't care about the product. If Raw and SmackDown put on a terrible show and nothing happens, I really just won't sit down to do a review. But I hope you guys are excited. Let's get into this review. So the show opened up with Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans. I believe this. I'm noticing this for WWE. It seems like, and since Becky Lynch is the top star in the women's division, they did this with Seth Rollins when Seth Rollins was the Intercontinental Champion in the past. They always like to start the show with one of their big baby faces, all right? And Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans was not a match that any of us cared about because we saw this match at Money in the Bank. And yes, so I'll say this, Lacey Evans, she has some in-ring talent, but she's still very, very new to the main roster. She's still very, very new to this company, and you can just tell by the way she works in the ring. Every once in a while, yes, she does some cool little things, but she's still very, very sloppy with her in-ring wrestling, and that showed again tonight. It showcased itself at Money in the Bank, and it again showcased itself tonight at Stomping Grounds. All right, it was a sloppy match. Becky Lynch dominated the first part of the match. Lacey Evans dominated the second part, and in the end, it got a little bit sloppy because I don't blame Becky for this. I blame this mostly on Lacey Evans and WWE Creative for this. Instead of having Lacey Evans build herself up against legit talent on the main roster and letting her get her in-ring name up before putting her in a feud, because legit, remember, when Lacey Evans, she spent the whole first part of the year just walking on television doing nothing. Every night coming on WWE television just to walk backstage. And now she came out with this Becky Lynch feud, and it really has not been anything good. It really has been anything good, all right? It's legit killed Becky Lynch's momentum. Becky Lynch was legit the hottest thing coming out of WWE after WrestleMania. Her feud with Ronda Rousey and Charlotte, even though Charlotte should have never been involved, her feud with Ronda Rousey that started all the way back in Survivor Series, coming full circle at WrestleMania. It was great. The promos, the intensity, the hype, and I still, maybe one day we'll get that legit Becky Lynch. We get that legit Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey feud, but Ronda's not there. Imagine getting a Becky versus Sasha Banks feud, because we still get those rumors that Sasha Banks is going to come back sometime this summer. I'm telling you right now, WWE, if you are serious about having Sasha Banks return, and if she actually is going to come back this summer, you need the build for SummerSlam. You either do Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks, or you do Bayley versus Sasha Banks. Either or, I really don't care. All right. Hey, you can do a triple threat match, winner takes all between Bayley, Sasha, and Becky, or you can have a winner take all with a fatal four-way with Sasha, Becky, Bayley, and Charlotte. One of those four scenarios should happen. If you're legit serious about having Sasha Banks come back, the best women's wrestler in the world, I don't care what anybody says, she's the best women's wrestler in the world, Sasha Banks. When she comes back, if she comes back this summer, if she legitimately comes back this summer, that's what you that's what you build towards. And you make that your main event for SummerSlam. I'm being very serious. Very serious. If you want Becky Lynch's momentum to come back, that's what you should do. All right? Because legit, Becky Lynch's momentum is dying. It's fading fast. WWE is now relying on this whole Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch relationship to carry the company. It's not. It can't. I'm sorry. That's just the honest truth. It cannot carry the company. It's not right now. It's actually making me sick every time they mention it. How many times tonight on Stomping Grounds did Michael Cole mention Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins? Oh my gosh, this is a big night for Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Becky Lynch, she has her title defense to start the show, and her boyfriend Seth Rollins will be defending the title later tonight. They did this on Raw, the same thing. They did this on Raw. Like, come on. Becky Lynch is great. She's one of my favorites on the entire women's roster. You guys know, anybody that watched me know, I love WWE, but I'm a huge advocate for the woman. But legit, Becky Lynch, and it's not her fault. It's the way she's been booked. And this Lacey Evans feud has been absolutely terrible. Because right now, if you look at the main champions in WWE, you look at Becky, Kofi, and Seth. They don't really have many legit contenders. Because legit, there's like no sign that WWE's going to take these titles off them. Because there's not legit competition for them. Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins, Becky versus Lacey. Are you serious? Have you seen the talent that's on your roster? Hell, you want to give Alexa Bliss, right? You want to give Alexa Bliss a title shot. Alexa Bliss, and they mentioned this, Alexa Bliss, she's a Raw superstar. She's a Monday Night Raw superstar who got a title shot against Bayley earlier tonight, which we'll talk about a little bit. Hell, if you want to do that, and legit, it makes it stupid because there's no need for 2 women's championships. There really isn't at this point. If legit, you're going to give a Raw superstar a SmackDown Live women's title opportunity, there should only be 1 title. Because then it wouldn't matter. But still, it makes the titles look stupid because, hey, I'm Alexa Bliss. I can just go over to SmackDown Live and get a title opportunity when I'm not even on that brand. It makes 0 sense. It's pathetic. But you could just, you could legitimately just do, just merge the divisions. I agree. You should also do this for the tag team division. Merge the division, have 1 champion. All right. Hell, you're not using Ember Moon on SmackDown Live. All she's doing is having backstage segments with what's her name, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Use the wild card rule. Have Ember Moon come to Monday Night Raw and challenge Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. That's a match we all want to see. That's something that will build interest in the women's division, not Lacey Evans. You want to build Becky Lynch's momentum back up? Do that. All right, do that. I thought this would be the end of this feud, but Becky Lynch, she won the match with just armor. Lacey Evans tapped immediately. She started tapping before Becky had the move fully applied. I don't understand if Lacey got injured. I don't think she was because she was back out there later in the night. But still, man, come on. It wasn't the best, start to the show. It was an okay match. Lacey Evans is still sloppy. And this shows that she should have not been in this position this early in her main roster run. But hey, she's a blonde. You guys know how WWE does with its blondes. But Becky Lynch wins. Don't really care. Hoping this is legit gonna send Becky Lynch to get some new competition for the Raw Women's title. But I doubt it. They're gonna continue this feud probably to Extreme Rules. All right, they're gonna continue Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans to Extreme Rules. Probably to the submission match or something like that. You could say the same thing about Seth and Baron. You could say the same thing about Drew and Roman. It's just disgusting. Hold up. I think I got mine. Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick, congratulations to Drew Gulak, new Cruiserweight champion. That's a long time coming for him. But, hey, I don't really care about the Cruiserweight division, but I just wanted to mention that. New Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So, this was a match pretty much there to fill time on this show. Legit, because if you looked at the card before the show, there wasn't a lot of matches. This was legit going to be like a 2-hour show max, the way that the card was structured. But we've seen this match kind of already. We've seen this match twice. Monday Night Raw, we saw the New Day go up against Corbin, Zayn, and Owens, and Joe. We'll talk about that handicap situation later. But we saw that match, and then the next night on SmackDown Live, we also saw Owens and Zayn going up against Rollins and Kofi. But legitimately, Kevin Owens, you're not going to give him the WWE Championship, or you would have already done it. Kevin Owens has already had like 2 or 3 WWE Championship matches in the last couple months. So they're not giving him the title, as great as Kevin Owens is. And legit, Kevin Owens, he does do a great stunner. But still, to be honest, I'd rather see no one else use the stunner but Stone Cold. but at least he's winning with it. But Sami Zayn, you're not doing anything with him. Why don't you have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens go after the tag team titles? Legit, if you wanted to, you could give the titles, the SmackDown Live tag team titles, to Daniel Heavy Machinery, and then you could have Owens and Zayn challenge for the titles. Even though there's nothing wrong with what Bryan and Eric Rowan are doing. I'm just saying they can legit. You need tag teams more than ever right now. No matter if it's on Raw or SmackDown, it doesn't really matter because with the wild card rule, you could put them on both divisions. But I'm just saying, hey, who wouldn't want to see a good feud between the Usos and Owens and Zayn? The Revival versus Owens and Zayn, Heavy Machinery versus Owens and Zayn, Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan versus Owens and Zayn. I mean, you've got some good tag team matches right now. That will help back up the tag team division. You just got AOP back up. Use these teams. Man. I don't understand what's so difficult about that. What they can't understand about that. But still, Owens and Zayn going up against the New Day. This was a good tag team match. And, we knew it was going to be a good tag team match because it's the New Day. The New Day are great. Owens and Zayn are great. And they won this match. Owens hit a stunner, which Xavier Woods oversold the hell out of. But still, it was a good match. And I enjoyed it pretty much. Even though it doesn't mean anything in the long run, it was just a full time, but it was a good match. Next up, we had Samoa Joe versus Ricochet. And we talked about this on Monday Night Raw, how, legit, these are the kind of matches you used to be doing for your mid-card division. Arguably, WWE has more mid-card talent than their world title talent. WWE has more talent at its disposal than it's ever had in the history of the company, and it refuses to use half of it. Legit. Samoa Joe versus Ricochet, this was great. This was probably the best match of the show. All right. And I knew it was going to be a good match if given the time, and I can't wait to see this match again at Extreme Rules. All right. But maybe they'll put a stipulation on him. Maybe they'll do a ladder match, something that will fit Ricochet's standard. But still, Ricochet is a great babyface. All right. The crowd was behind him. Samoa Joe was showing a lot of intensity in this match. And Ricochet is so good at selling, which made it believable. It was back and forth. Every single time it looked like nobody could get the high advantage on one another, but still, Ricochet won the match with I keep forgetting what his finisher is. It's not the 720, it's the 630. Yeah, the 630, and it was a great match. This is what you should have done. This was perfect. All right. Yes, I'm kind of sad that Samoa Joe is no longer going to be the United States champion, at least for right now. But still, you need to build up the United States title. It hasn't been worth much because of the flip-flopping between Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe, and it's not their fault. I blame WWE's booking for that. But still, this was a great match. JD from NY said he wants to see Rey Mysterio versus Ricochet at SummerSlam. I'm behind that. Honestly, I think this is probably going to lead. I think you're going to have Ricochet versus Joe at Extreme Rules, and Ricochet will successfully defend. And then when Rey Mysterio, once he's fully recovered from his injury at SummerSlam, you do a triple threat: Ricochet, Mysterio, and Joe for the U.S. title. That's what you should do. You could have Ricochet bring back the and I hope they don't do a rematch tomorrow night. I'd rather them just save the rematch for Extreme Rules in a couple weeks, but we'll see what they do. But afterwards, we had Ricochet go backstage, and you saw like Charlotte, Carmella, Heavy Machinery, and they were all congratulating Ricochet. We also saw Triple H, which it was really good to see. But also later on in the show, we saw Ricochet. He was taking his new photo shoot with the U.S. title, and then we see the club show up. We see Luke Gallows and Anderson. They come in, and they're trying to get Ricochet to do the too sweet, and Ricochet's refusing to do it. It was pretty funny. I don't know. Maybe they're teasing Ricochet to join the club. I don't think they are going that route, but definitely I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. But I just found it funny. Ricochet was legit refusing to do the too sweet. But we saw AJ Styles come in at the end, and they came in to do a photo with Ricochet, and AJ Styles congratulated Ricochet, and he's like, "Congrats, champ! Good victory. I'll see you tomorrow night." So maybe Ricochet does an open challenge, and maybe they're setting up for AJ Styles versus Ricochet. I wouldn't mind that at all. But legit, WWE has a problem here. Not because AJ Styles should be in the main event scene, but they're not doing Styles versus Rollins again right now. But still, the problem that I'm having is legit. They take a contender that was in a world title match, and then right after they lose their opportunity, they put them into a mid-card title match. They did this with Styles versus after his first WWE title run, after he lost that title to John Cena. He had his match with Shane McMahon, and they turned him babyface, and he went after the U.S. title when Kevin Owens was holding it a couple of years ago. It looks like they're doing that same thing now. I wouldn't mind AJ Styles being the U.S. champion. I just don't want them to take the title for Ricochet, at least not now, because Ricochet just won the title, and your focus should be building up the United States title, not just hot potato it. Legit, if they gave it to AJ Styles, it would have gone from Rey Mysterio to Samoa Joe. No, my bad. It would have went from Samoa Joe to Rey Mysterio, back to Samoa Joe, to Ricochet, then AJ Styles. And that's way too much flip-flopping for any title. And he should be focused on building up the United States title right now. All right, but Ricochet versus Samoa Joe, I hope they continue this feud. I hope. And I wouldn't mind, hey, do a Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam. Another one right there. Styles, Joe, Ricochet, and Mysterio. That would be absolutely awesome. Do that right there. I just gave WWE, if anybody from WWE is listening, I just gave you your U.S. title match at SummerSlam. Styles, Joe, Mysterio, Ricochet. Next up, this was another great match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus Heavy Machinery. This was a very, very fun match. And the thing is, Heavy Machinery was the heels in this match. They were the heels, not because the crowd didn't like them. It was because they were in Washington. That's where Stomping Grounds took place tonight, and that is the hometown of Daniel Bryan, the home state of Daniel Bryan. He's from I forget. It's not Albany, but it's some part of Washington. But the crowd was heavy on Daniel Bryan's side, and we saw a little bit of Daniel Bryan pandering to the crowd. He was a little bit. Daniel Bryan was more of a tweener tonight. He had a little bit of a baby face in him. Maybe this was just a one-time thing because Daniel Bryan was in his hometown. Wait, did they just report that now, Joe? So what? Ricochet versus AJ Styles non-title match tomorrow night? That's gonna be something to watch. Hey, you just gave me a reason. They just gave me a reason to watch Monday Night Raw tomorrow. All right, because Monday Night Raw is gonna be probably garbage. But hey, I'll watch to see AJ Styles versus Ricochet. That would be a great match. But yeah, it's Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was kind of acting like a little bit of a babyface tonight, and Machinery bringing the heel. But this was fun. This was very, very fun, and I hope they continue. Lacey versus Becky Lynch. No, move on. Start something new. Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin. And this is something I hope they continue. This match was fun, and I would love to see it again at Extreme Rules. Otis is very fun, but the guy can actually wrestle. There was a part of this match where Otis was going up against Eric Rowan in the ring, and he legit picked up Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan and Otis combined are like 700 pounds of pure muscle. And Otis has picked up Rowan did like the world's strongest slam, Mark Henry's finisher, twice on him, and it was pretty impressive how easy he was able to pick him up. And there was also a part where we saw Tucker Knight do like a flying crossbody on Eric Rowan on the outside. But what happened is Otis didn't see Dana Bryan get tagged into the match. Dana Bryan because behind Otis, rose him up 1, 2, 3. Bryan and Rowan retained the tag team titles. Very, very fun match. And at this point in the show, you were thinking, hey, Stomping Grounds had been a very good show so far. Very good. Even other than Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans, which was kind of wasn't the best way to start the show. But to be honest, you should have had Samoa Joe and Ricochet start the show. But you had you had the Samoa Joe versus Ricochet match. You had New Day going up against Zayn and Owens, and Heavy Machinery going up against Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Three very good three very good matches. In the first part of the show, which made this is the only reason why this show was decent, or not decent, was okay in my eyes. But for the SmackDown Women's title, I didn't care about this match at all. The only reason why I even looked about Bayley, she's good in the ring, but yet, hopefully, but there was part of me that thought that, Sasha Banks might return tonight. There's some people say that Sasha Banks could come back to be in Bayley's corner for this match since Nikki Cross was there. But we know that Sasha Banks is reportedly supposed to come back sometime this summer. But I don't know what's going on there. No idea. Sasha didn't show up tonight. She's still at home with her dog. But Bayley won this match with a Bayley the Belly. That's really all I got to say about this. Honestly, I just find it stupid. That's all I gotta say about this. What was next? I'm trying to see what was next. You had Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. I got nothing to say about this. This has been the worst program on WWE television. This was. You guys know how I feel about Roman Reigns. I don't really want to rant on it too much, but there's not much for me to say. There really isn't. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns wins with the spear again. Drew McIntyre should be challenged except Rollins for the Universal title. Instead, they're having to face Roman Reigns for like the millionth time in the last couple months. How many times do we have to see this match? Like legit, how many times? It's frustrating. There's not much. There's like nothing else you can say about these two. And then tomorrow night, Monday Night Raw, Shane McMahon announced that it's gonna be him and Drew against Roman in a handicap match. Legit, they made the wild card rule just an excuse for Roman Reigns to appear on both shows, so they could say he's on SmackDown Live. So they can market him as the face of SmackDown Live because SmackDown's going to Fox in just a couple months. But still, man. And the thing was, the second Shane McMahon announced that it was going to be a handicap match, the crowd started booing. They started booing. They're like, everyone is tired of Shane McMahon. He's legit killing the WWE roster by himself. He's the ratings killer. It's terrible what they're doing with him right now. And you think anybody's gonna be tuning in? The second I see Shane McMahon's music hit tomorrow night, I'm changing the channel. I'm not watching a single part of that match. That's a waste of my time. It's a waste of your time. No one cares about Shane McMahon, Roman Reigns, and Drew McIntyre, especially Shane McMahon. Nobody cares. All right? You say you care about WWE, but yet you're putting yourself front and center on the screen every single week. I really don't understand why this feud is continuing. Really, I'd rather have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for a million times than see Shane McMahon wrestle on my television again in 2019. And that's just me being honest. And you guys know me. You guys have seen me in the past. I hated the Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar feud. I'd rather have seen that match again than see Shane McMahon wrestle again. But now, WWE Championship match. Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler in a steel cage. And, this match wasn't bad. Kofi Kingston has been putting on great matches since he's became WWE champion. No, before that, you know, it all started with that first gauntlet match all the way back before Elimination Chamber. You know, it's been a great run for Kofi Kingston as WWE champion. All right, Kofi Kingston has been the best champion in the entire company in my eyes. He's been better than Seth, better than Becky. You know, the only reason why I'm not saying anything about NXT is because, and you know, Shayna Baszler, that's a good debate. But Adam Cole just became NXT champion a couple weeks ago. If Johnny Gargano was still NXT champion, I would probably think differently. But that's the reason why I say that. But this was a good match. The thing that sucks is Dolph Ziggler comes close every single time, and then at the last second, he fails like usual. The ending of this match was it was creative. It was Dolph Ziggler. He was legit. Just slowly. He was slowly crawling out of the ring, and to get both feet on the ground. And Kofi at the last second noticed that Dolph Ziggler's about to escape the cage. Legit, you know, like flies through the second row of the floor, putting himself in danger just to keep the WWE Championship. It was actually pretty creative. All right, I've loved Kofi Kingston. You guys know I've been a big fan of him since I was a little kid. His WWE title run. I don't think he's lost since before WrestleMania. It's crazy. You know, his winning streak continues. His WWE title run continues. But, you know, I'm just getting more and more worried that it's all going to come to an end. All right. He's great on the mic. He's great in the ring. He has charisma. But I'm worried that his title run is coming to an end. You know, I feel like either Drew McIntyre, Lesnar, or Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon's the one that I'm scared about the most. Legit, I'm scared that Shane McMahon's going to be the one to take the WWE title off of Kofi Kingston. And I've already ranted on that. There's a video on the channel. But still, man, I pray that I'm wrong, all right? Because there's no signs that WWE's going to be picking up the New Day anytime soon. But, you know, there's still part of me that thinks that maybe at SummerSlam they do Big E versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. But I hope they don't. I love the New Day. I know WWE loves the New Day as well, so... But still, it's just more and more either Lesnar, Reigns, or Shane McMahon. I feel like one of those three is going to take the title off of Kofi sooner rather than later. I don't think, you know, he's going to lose the title at Extreme Rules. I think Kofi's going to lose the title at SummerSlam. If he does lose the title at SummerSlam, I'll be fine with that because Kofi would have had a decent run as title champion. He would have held the title for Mania to SummerSlam, which would have been a good run for him. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see where they go from here for Kofi. Maybe they do Kofi versus Sami Zayn because they did Kofi versus Owens. They done Kofi versus Dolph Ziggler. So maybe they're going to go do Kofi versus Sami Zayn. For Dolph Ziggler, I don't care. I legit don't. Dolph Ziggler, he's great in the ring, but WWE has just never cared about him. Never cared about him. So why should we care about him? Every time he's this close to succeeding, he fails at the last moment. And that's the same thing that happened tonight. Legit, just makes Ziggler look like an idiot. He's legit just like 2 steps away from becoming WWE champion. At the last moment, they have Kofi flying to get the victory. And I'm fine with Kofi winning, but hey, you know, if I'm Dolph Ziggler, get out of WWE, go to AEW. You legit came back for just because WWE paid you a bunch of money. And it's just making you look stupid. Also, good, yes. Joe, I was just about to say something about that. Where's Finn Balor been? Has Finn Balor defended the Intercontinental Championship on WWE television? You know, he defended that Super Showdown, but I don't really count Super Showdown as a show. That's more of a network special in my eyes. As Finn Balor, legit, I don't think Balor defended the title at. Balor did not defend the at. Finn Balor did not defend the Intercontinental Championship at Money in the Bank. He was in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and he defended the title at Super Showdown, but I don't really count that much. And he didn't defend the title tonight. You could have had Finn Balor if you want. You could have done Finn Balor versus Mustafa Ali or something like that. You know, or they've been teasing a Randy Orton versus Finn Balor feud. I would love to see Randy Orton versus Finn Balor for the IC title. Do that at Extreme Rules, please. All right, anybody from WWE watching this, Randy Orton versus Finn Balor. That should be the Finn Balor's next opponent for the IC title, in my eyes. Moving on, getting into our main event. Universal Championship match, Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin with a special guest referee. The special guest referee, and the thing is, they had Seth Rollins come out with the chair. You know, Rollins has been beating people with a chair since Super Showdown. And what they did tonight really pissed me off, but there was rumors saying, and we saw Paul Heyman earlier in the show, we thought that it was going to be Lesnar being the special guest referee, but instead they had Lacey Evans be the special guest referee. Yes, Lacey Evans. And this was absolutely terrible. All right, this match went like for 25 minutes. It was a long match, and I didn't care about it at all. At all. The only part that there was a part of this match when I got scared that Corbin was about to become the Universal Champion. It was near the end when we saw Lacey Evans. She slapped Rollins in the face like 3 times, then gave Rollins a low blow, and Corbin hit Rollins with the end of days. And I thought Lacey Evans was about to pull the fast count, and Corbin was about to become Universal Champion. I legit thought that was about to happen. I was gonna like rant because there's nothing worse than having Baron Corbin as Universal Champion. Jeez, man. But this match was disgusting. You know, oh, man. You had the crowd chanting, "This is stupid. This is boring." And it was legitimately terrible. This was your main event. Even Renee Young, the commentator, she's supposed to stay neutral. She's supposed to make everything that you see on WWE television look good. Even she said, "This is stupid. Like, what is this? This is your main event, and this is what we're doing." Why? Well, I would have rather had Brock Lesnar as the special guest referee. Hell, you could have had Paul Heyman be the special guest referee. That would have been a little more interesting. All you had Lacey Evans, you know, half the time she's checking herself out in the mirror, or she's looking at her nails, not even paying attention to the match. And this is your Universal title. This is supposed to be the most important title in the company next to the WWE Championship now. And it looked like a joke tonight. It legit looked like a joke. Like, what the hell were we watching? And there was a part where, you know, Seth Rollins puts Corbin through the announce table on the outside with a power bomb, and Lacey is taking a million years to count to 10. Right as the count gets to 9, she pulls Mike Rome and says this match will be restarted as a no count out match. Then later in the match, you know, you see Corbin hitting Rollins with the chair, and Lacey is supposed to disqualify him. Instead, Lacey changes the match and makes a no disqualification, which is the reason why Becky Lynch was able to get involved and attack Lacey afterwards, because there's no disqualification for hitting the ref. Then one of the normal WWE officials comes out. Rollins hits Corbin with the stomp. 1, 2, 3. Rollins retains the title. And of course they would do that because, you know, WWE is so happy that Rollins, one of their biggest stars, and Becky Lynch, the face of the women's division right now, are together. They're a WWE couple. So WWE is just writing this. And I'm telling you, tomorrow night, main event of Raw, we're getting a mixed tag team match. Corbin and Lacey versus Rollins and Becky. And instead of starting to build towards new feuds as we enter the road to Extreme Rules. And the thing about it is, SummerSlam will be here before you know it. SummerSlam is less than 2 months away. You should be building towards SummerSlam right now. I say this every year. Every year. The second that WrestleMania ends, that's like the end of WWE's calendar year. Everything is to start building towards SummerSlam at that point. The Raw after WrestleMania, that's when the build towards SummerSlam starts. Right now, SummerSlam is looking awful. If this is the way we're going to get it. It seems like WWE's going to be, because the way I think Extreme Rules is going to be part 3 of Super Showdown. Part 3 of Super Showdown is going to be Extreme Rules, because we're going to see a lot of these matches probably for a third time, and then finally we'll get new feuds going to SummerSlam. Even though we should be building towards SummerSlam right now. Because watch, WWE's going to rush all its feuds for SummerSlam, and just because it's SummerSlam, people are going to watch, and that's the way they're going to market it. It's disgusting. All right. But, you know, WWE at the end of the day, they're going to do what they want. Thank God we'll have AEW You know, and AEW's all out pay-per-view is gonna be coming soon. So WWE better. I'm telling you, WWE, you better, because look at all out. They sold out in 15 minutes. I'll do a review on that when that show comes. But legit, all out will be more successful than SummerSlam if WWE doesn't start building towards SummerSlam starting tomorrow night. Stop with all these, repeat feud, repeat title matches just because you have nothing interesting. All right, get some actual creative writers that are not scared of Vince McMahon, that will actually write compelling television and start building towards SummerSlam right now. That's what you should be doing. All right. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. That's your Stomping Ground 2019 full show review and results. I hope you guys enjoyed the review as always. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you guys enjoyed. Make sure to follow me on social media. The links are in the description down below. Enable notifications by clicking the bell right next to my name, Fitbone TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. I'm going to get out of here. I'll most likely be here tomorrow night for a Monday Night Raw review. Hope to see you guys there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day, guys. Peace.